Hi, I'm Sharon Hales, and I'm standing in front of Once Upon a Time Bookstore in Montrose, California, which is in northern Glendale. And joining me here is Robert Newcomb, a very renowned local historian who has agreed to tell us about the importance of this bookstore that is not only famous as an attraction, but it's also important to the history of Montrose.
So Once Upon a Time was started 50 years ago in the fall of 1966, but it wasn't always here at this location. It started out actually outside the Montrose shopping park, and we're going to go take you there right now. Okay, so here we are in front of the original Once Upon a Time. So in the fall of 1966, Jane Humphrey, who had this dream of starting a family bookstore, opened it here. And the story is that her son, Christopher, used to lay in this bay window here. And it was a very successful bookstore. People from Los Angeles heard about it, but they could never find it because we're in Montrose, but we're 3 blocks south of Honolulu Avenue. And before the days of everybody having their own portable map system with them, they couldn't find it. If you look up the street, it's pretty hard to see where Honolulu is, and from Honolulu you could never see this. And so she was losing customers who would complain that they couldn't find the store. So she finally, in 1971, bit the bullet and moved onto Honolulu Avenue in Montrose, and she moved a couple more times, and we'll take a look at one of the longest running locations next.
Great. We're here at the corner of Ocean View and Honolulu Avenues, and many people know about the Starbucks here, but when they come enjoy their drinks, they don't know the history of what Starbucks used to be.
But this started as a bank in the 20s, Bank of America. It eventually became Bank of America. And in the 1950s, Bank of America decided it was too old and stodgy, and they wanted something more modern, so they moved down the street. And they sold it to a local businesswoman named Faye, who turned it into a Faye's department store. And then Faye had many businesses along Honolulu. And after she passed away, her niece took over the business, and she decided she just couldn't run so many businesses. So she closed this one down, and she offered Jane Humphrey a chance to move into here.
As I said, Robert Newcomb is a local famous historian. Robert, tell us what you have written about the area.
So I've written 3 books on the area. The first one, 2006, History of La Crescenta, co-written with Mike Lawler. And then a few years later, we did this book, Crescenta Valley Then and Now, which is a bunch of then and now photos, old photos, combined with present-day photos, although this is 5 years old, so the present-day photos are turning into then photos. And the most recent one was on the history of Montrose. And this is the one I actually wanted to write from the beginning, but didn't get around to it until 2013, the 100-year anniversary of Montrose.
And when I asked Robert which site in Montrose he would like to highlight in one of my Foothills Finds videos, he chose Once Upon a Time Bookstore. Robert, tell us why this bookstore is near and dear to your heart, and then you can introduce our guests.
Okay. So, in the 1980s, I was living in North Hollywood, and we had a young daughter, and the reputation of this bookstore is throughout Southern California. And somebody told us about Once Upon a Time, and we had to check it out. So we came here, fell in love with the bookstore, but also fell in love with Montrose and ended up moving here and writing all this history. So Once Upon a Time is near and dear to my heart. Now, standing next to me is the current owner of Once Upon a Time, Maureen. How did it come about that you bought the bookstore from Jane Humphrey?
Oh, goodness. Well, it was a confluence of things. We were customers at Once Upon a Time, and we have 2 small daughters at the time. It was in early 2000, and we would be going to the store every week, my 8-year-old and 9-year-old daughter, and so every week we would be getting books. And so by 2003, early 2003, one of the daughters said to me, "Mama, we have all the books." And I looked around Once Upon a Time, and I saw that there weren't hardly any books left in the shop. So I asked what was going on, and they hemmed and hawed and said, "Well, reluctantly, I think we're going to have to go out of business. Nobody wants to buy our store." And my 9-year-old daughter, Jessica, who love the store. Amelia loved the store too. But Jessica wrote a letter to the editor of the Glendale News Press, and they decided to print the letter, which basically it says, where am I going to find my 5th Harry Potter book if Once Upon a Time doesn't continue, and please help the nice lady, Mrs. Humphrey. And so we put in a bid, and about 4 days later, she called me, and I was, oh my gosh, we have a store, and I had to quit my human resource consulting job of 20 years and start retail with no experience.
Well, Maureen, that's a really big achievement that you quit your job to come start and do retail, and you've made such a great success of the store. Can you tell us how you've achieved this longevity, what you've done differently?
Well, I have done more events, more outreach to the community. We now put in almost 100 authors into schools during the year. So we do lots more things, and we go from Riverside to Thousand Oaks, and Glendale, of course, but Pasadena, Glendale, La Cañada, putting authors into schools, getting kids excited about reading, getting them hooked on writing. We have lots of events here, a lot more things. Pajama nights, book clubs during the summer, writing clubs, just a whole slew of different things.
Well, talk about getting hooked. Each little area in the store is like a boutique, and so it's really exciting to just move a few feet over to see what is on the next shelf. And I know this year's a very special year. Tell us why.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, this is our 50th anniversary year, so we're very, very excited to be here and still serving the community. And 50 years, we are the oldest children's bookstore in the whole country. Sadly, it is a very difficult job.
Well, the bookstore is important to our community, and we congratulate you on your 50th anniversary, and we're so grateful that you are a beacon of hope for the readers of America, young and old, and we just wish you the very best. This is so exciting about this longevity of this beautiful bookstore. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert Newcomb, for
Thank
finding
you.
this find for us and giving us this great connection with Maureen.